What's going on, guys? This is Sega Sonic here, and today I'm going to be putting out another album review. And I know you guys have been waiting on this patiently, but today we're going to be doing Insane Clown Posse's, or ICP, or whatever you want to call them, their album, Ringmaster. Now, this album came out back in '94, pretty old album. This is actually my favorite ICP. Well, honestly, the design is my favorite. It's not that. Well, this isn't really my favorite album. My favorite album was Mighty Death Pop because it was the first one I'd listened to. But honestly, this album has the best design, I think. I think this is the best design, and it's a shame they never did a 20th anniversary for this one. Then again, it was already crammed in with Riddlebox and Great Malenko, which were arguably their best albums, or whatever. But enough chit chat about it. Let's hop right into it. So off the bat, what you'll notice is, I'm gonna use the glare for this. It's not yellow as people describe it in the videos. It's not yellow, it's gold. And at first, me and my dad thought this was a 20th anniversary, but then again, I went online and I researched it and I found out this is not the 20th anniversary. Just because it's gold, I've actually found out, and it turned out this is just how the album is. I thought when I got it off Amazon, I thought it was going to be yellow like it was, but apparently not. And the only thing that's colored in is the parental advisory logo right there, which is not a sticker. That one's actually colored in gold. This is just like brushed or polished gold or whatever. But yeah, there's the spine, which is kind of, I don't know, weird. It looks weird. I guess it's supposed to be spelled like that. Let's see the other end there, which is basically the same thing. And on the back we have the track listings. Let's read them. Number 1, Wax Museum, Murder Go Round, Chicken Hunting, Mr. Johnson's Head, Southwest Song, Get Off Me Dog, Who Asked You, The Dead One, My Funhouse, For the Maggots, Wagon Wagon, The Loons, Love Song, Bugs on My Nuts, House of Mirrors, and Ringmaster's Word. Now, I love this album. This album is not the worst album. Most people said this album isn't really great. Then again, other juggalos out there said they love the album. However, there is a few songs on it that people skip. The song that almost everybody skips over would be, I have to say, Ringmaster's Word, because it's just basically a few lyrics with some weird music play. So Ringmaster's Word isn't really that great, but I actually liked Ringmaster's Word. I never really skip over any songs. The one I actually did skip over, honestly, the only one I had to actually skip over was Chicken Hunting. I don't know. I think the remix was way better, just because it was perfected. Now, most people out there, and I saw an article on Google, someone who wasn't a juggalo themselves, but they ended up listening through all of the ICP albums from Carnival of Carnage all the way through Marvelous Missing Link, Lost and Found, at the time. Fearless Red Fury wasn't out. This was 2016. But this was ranked. This was a top 16, I think. No. I think. I'm not too sure. It was kind of weird. It was like a top 15 or something like that. And this happened to be around number 14, I believe. And I thought, number 14, really? That's kind of odd. Number 14 for this album. This was a really good album. But most people said it sucked. But the thing I kind of have to disagree on people with, the only reason it wasn't that great was because they were still, this was their very second album. They were still kind of getting into the groove of albums at the time. So they were just getting prepared for a long road ahead of them. And let's go ahead and take a look inside the album itself. See what wonders await. Alright, let's take a look at the disc. This is the disc right here. Looks really nice, clean. That's the Ringmaster. There's the running hatchet man right down there. Focus, there you go. And just basically a bunch of crap. I think this is my favorite album. My second favorite album. For a few reasons. There's actually a sentimental piece behind this album. I got it on the day one of my dogs passed away, actually. That was something odd about this album that I thought. March 6th, 3 days after my birthday, my dog passed away. Same time this came in the mail. Now here's the booklet. As you can see, it's really shiny whenever it's not by the glass. Let's go ahead and read this. This is basically just the message behind the Ringmaster. Alright, here we go. I'm going to read it for you guys, even though you guys can't see that well. Who's guilty? The day has come, the time of reckoning. Wait, what does that say? I can't. It's too dark. I don't know, maybe you guys could pause the video, and you guys can, see it. I did say I was going to read it, but, I just realized I don't have too much space on my card, so I ain't got that much time. That's why I chose a small album to, go through. Yeah. Then you got inside right here. The inside of this booklet, basically, is just like, thanks, like shout outs, you know, dedicated to the butterfly, and you got little countdown. There will be 6 faces of the dark carnival. After all 6 have risen, the end of time will consume us all. This, that little review down there is Carnival of Carnage, which we'll review, later on. Then you've got the remaining 4, which the third Joker's card is the one we're gonna reveal, or, review next, if you will. But yeah, so we're gonna do, part 3 tomorrow. If you're watching this right the second this video goes up. But yeah. But honestly, that's about it. That's all there is to Ringmaster. It's basically just an album. There wasn't as much to cover on this album because, well, there's not much to it. It's just a standard album. It's not like it was a box set or anything. That was just Red Pop that we actually, that we reviewed, so we may have to take a little longer on the next 2 that come. And I mean, like, the next 2, like, the White Pop and Black Pop, so we gotta wait on those. But that was basically Ringmaster. Good album. I definitely would recommend this. It has got to be, if you're a hardcore juggalo like me, or even just a regular juggalo consumer, and you want most of their albums, and only some of the essential albums, this one has definitely got to go in your collection. It is definitely one of the mandatory albums to have. Ringmaster is kind of obscure in its own right. Like I said, this was their second album. But I still very highly recommend it. And this is not just because of the sentimental value it has for me, but mainly because it's, I mean, come on. One of their most hit songs on here, on Riddlebox, happened to be Chicken Hunting, and this is where Chicken Hunting started. I don't know. I think this one is one of the better albums. If honestly, if you think I'm wrong about that, then you should probably rephrase yourself, because this is one of the Triple OG albums. Okay. Um, that's all there is to say. Is Sonic signing off. Stay awesome, guys.